What up? What up? Welcome to another episode of Behind the Boot podcast. As always, I'm joined by my two co-hosts. I got Jared. I got Big Dan with me. We here to bring some new content to y'all. I know it's been a couple weeks since we was able to come and talk to y'all. So I felt like this would be a good week to jump back into it. I know we had like a slow off season with the Saints and everything, but stuff is starting to spice up in New Orleans, man. We had a interesting week two, to say the least, with the Saints. Um, LSU rebounded with uh, a nice W, and then we got some new rumblings in the Pelicans front office. It seemed like things going ablaze over there, so we're gonna get into all that. But first, I'm gonna just check in with y'all, man. How y'all doing?
Oh, I'm doing all right, bro. Doing all right. Can't complain.
I feel it, man. How you doing, Jared?
All right, Ryan. I'm all right. Can't complain myself. Just trying to make it, baby.
All right, that's good to hear. So, with that being said, how were you feeling Sunday after what you saw in week two for the Saints?
Disgusted. Nah, lie. I wasn't too much worried. I knew there wasn't. I didn't. I wouldn't say I knew, but I had a feeling they was going to lose the game just by how much people was hurt. Coaches, six coaches out. I didn't think they was going to have the best game. It's more of a trap game, you know. I didn't think they was as good as they played week one against Green Bay, and I don't think they're as bad as they just played against the Panthers. I think they're somewhere in between. Just two totally different games. But it is what it is, bro. If we can be at least 500 to the bye, I think we'd be straight, bro.
Yeah, and I think that's still possible. Like, I don't think it's time to hit the panic button just yet. I also think that the eight coaches being out had a bigger impact than the casual fan or realize. You know what I mean? Like when you have your rookie quarterback Ian Book in charge of substitutions, you know what I mean? Sean Payton juggling way more than he would normally juggle on a regular Sunday. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think that got a big impact. Now, this is why I asked Dan, what's your opinion? You think that any of that should have been on fault of the players, or do you think the circumstances was just too much to overcome at the time?
I just think it really showed that we weren't prepared to play that game, and to his own, it just wasn't. You just don't know how important it is to have your D line coach there, um, O line coach, DBs. Those is when you get the specific game plans in from your actual position coaches. You know what I'm saying? It's really hard to go through and game prep through a week when you have those key people out. And when you got a rookie quarterback trying to sub people down the game, that's just not. They looked at gassed. They looked at slow, a step slow. I mean, actually, I was kind of impressed with the defense a little bit. The defense actually played pretty well to me, enough for us to win. The offense didn't show nothing. I really thought it would have been more on the defense at first, which they did come out very flat and give up some early points. But I think that they settled down a lot quicker than the offense did, which the offense never settled down. And they made some stops, and we just couldn't put no points on the board. Now, I do say this. We are one injury away from that O line being in big trouble. You
Yeah,
seen
I
you
agree
seen
with
him
that.
rear his ugly head when Eric McCoy went out, and Peters already saw it. It's really sad that our backup right guard, who I don't know who he is, by the way. It's not like Calamente back in the day like I used to have. He used to be swinging all over the line. What it is, Morton or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But it's a shame that his name was called less. When you're an offensive lineman, you don't want your name being called on the broadcast often. And it's a shame that his name was barely mentioned and Pete was just getting his lunch ate as usual. He
Yeah,
has these games. He has like 4 games. He looks like he should be wearing street clothes. It looked like he should be working at fucking local Target rather than be a
yeah,
professional all pro left guard. And it's really
yeah.
disturbing.
See, my thing is, how has he tricked the NFL into thinking that he's been good? Like he's made multiple Pro Bowls. Like people talk about him as if he's the one of the better linemen in the league. And
It's
I'm
because it's because he's dominant for 12 games a year, and the other four, he's either hurt or he's just getting bullied around. And it'll
yeah,
be the game as you suspect less. Like he put it this way, he shows up in primetime games. Like if it's on the ESPN, Pete ain't getting beat. But if it's your local broadcast on Fox with John Stockton calling the goddamn game and nobody
yeah.
cares about it, he plays like shit. And he has those 3 or 4 games where you just be like, man, like, what is he thinking on this play? Who is he blocking? I seen that pick with him and Susan Ruiz, which I really think Susan Ruiz need to go back to right guard. Let's be honest, but they were both looking around, blocking nobody, while James was sitting there running for his life in the pocket. Like that's inexcusable for a center and left guard to not have anybody to block. And it
Yeah.
does fall on the center because you're the person that's supposed to be sliding protection. You're supposed to know who's coming. You're supposed to know who's getting what, and you're supposed to be the one helping. You either your right guard or your left guard. But obviously, that wasn't the communication was not
Well,
there.
I think things like that happen when you don't have your coaches. Cause like
Yeah, and
I
he's
know
a
that the
first
the
time start.
casual fan, they don't pay attention to shit like that. But when you watching the broadcast, you'll see after plays when the offense come off the field and the defense coming on. If you look in the back on the benches, they got the iPads going through like, hey, this is what you did wrong. This is what we got to do next drive out here so you don't get your ass whipped. And then when you don't have that, then you see what happens in week two. Like that's why I say at least to Saints fans, it's not time to hit the panic button yet.
Yeah, that
But
definitely hurt his head. That it was too much to overcome.
yeah. But we gonna move over to LSU and see what's going on there. I'll be real, Louisiana people don't kill me, but I did not watch the LSU game. I
Unbelievable.
had some other stuff. I just didn't find it important after what I saw last week. So I'm gonna get my two guys here to kind of inform me and us what's going on with the Tigers. What happened, Jared?
Well, I'll tell you one thing for sure that we don't have a running game to save our lives, Ryan. Our O line look soft like a pack of cottonelle tissue fresh off the shelves. And Wally, these guys are very. I don't know. It's like they're trying to be finesse, but you can't be finesse in the SEC. It's just not gonna fly. That type. If you, I saw enough when these guys couldn't even get a push versus McNeese. I saw that we're in trouble. Versus, I mean,
Yeah.
against SEC teams, that's not gonna fly, dude. You need to be able to run the ball, and these guys was only averaging a yard per carry.
Now let
It's
me
pretty
let me ask you
disgusting.
this: what you think they should point the blame to? Is it just the players not being what they should be, or is it time to look at coaching?
Honestly, so not trying to make no excuses, but they just got a brand new offensive line coach, like September, right before the season started. They had a
Late
brand new O
July.
line. You know what I'm saying? So that could possibly have an effect because new terminology, new ways of him explaining techniques. So whatever. But I don't excuse it all because all those guys been playing for like 4 years or 5 years. So it should be the same on the field. And if you still can't block, then you're just not good, bro. Either you have it or you don't. And
Right.
they don't have it. And it comes down to recruit. You need to recruit guys that can block. That needs to be your number one priority in O lineman. Can we run block? I think passing, pass blocking can be taught. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that could be worked on and get you better at. I think, but if you don't have the ability to run block and want to maul people and be physically dominant, then you just not cut out for the job in the SEC, in
Oh
my
yeah,
opinion.
Yeah.
Jared. Yeah. I want to touch on that, Jared. There isn't any nastiness to that offensive line. You want somebody to punch somebody in the mouth. And when you can't go and do that against a D3 school in McNeese, it's starting to concern me that it ain't really the coaching. Because if you can't line up and just off of pure athletic ability dominate the line of scrimmage, and nothing against McNeese, I like McNeese. I got some people I know that from McNeese, and I really like them, and they're really talented. But let's be real, just off a physical standpoint, that LSU offensive line outweighs them by at least 20, 30 pounds. I mean, that's on every position if you line them up straight to straight. Ed Ingram has regressed. Let's just go down the line. Ed Ingram is like a 6-year senior. He's regressed. Ed Ingram probably was considered probably to be a third-round pick before he got in that trouble. And he came back, late during the national championship season and kind of helped out. And, he was okay, but he's definitely regressed. Austin Deculus has always been trash to me, but he's regressed. Chasen Hines was never that good to me. Liam Shanahan, a transfer from Harvard, is soft.
He been soft to me.
He
I've
he,
been
he isn't
convinced.
he isn't big enough to play center and in the SEC. He's about 6'2", 295. He's too small. He can't move anybody. Um, and I don't know what they got going on at left tackle right now. Honestly, is
They don't know.
Dare Rosenthal was there, then he got kicked off the team or transferred, and he got Cameron Wire. He's hurt, and
He's
they
hurt.
played.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I honestly, to be real with you, I think every one of those guys should be benched. You have to go young at this particular. You have to get somebody that's hungry and that want to punch somebody in the mouth. Where's Cardell Thomas?
Hey,
5-star recruit. What Thomas Perry,
but that's
Marcus
the point though. There,
Dumerville,
they don't have nobody.
Martinez. Those guys were 5-star recruits, and Cardell Thomas is a mauler. He wants to block. The guy was talked about being the best offensive line prospect in the last 10 years coming out of college. He was destroying everybody at camps. He was standing them up. He was throwing them on the ground. A big, mean, nasty guard. That's what we need. We didn't have nobody that be like, oh, I ain't messing with that dude. That's a bad mother lover right there. That's what we miss on that line. We don't have anybody like that. And it's starting to question, is it development? Is it something that's being taught? Or is it just we just missing the fire? Like there's nothing. And you see it from the D line. That D line is ferocious. That D line gets after everybody. They can roll out 8, like I told y'all. They can roll out 8 deep. They lost Andre Anthony, so they won short. He's out for the season. Feel bad for the guy, got a 6-year senior, but they rolled out 8 deep, and every one of them could get to the quarterback, can stop the run. But it's just real concerning when you got all these 4, 5-star running backs and O linemen, and you can't block. I mean, you can't fall off the ball. You can't show no passion to want to, it's just whenever you get down to it in the SEC, yeah, you might be able to score. Max Johnson played awesome. They got all the skill positions they need. But when it comes down to it, you have to do ball control.
So let me ask you this, Dan. With that being said, and we realize what the situation is, when you look, if we was to fast forward to the end of this season, where you think we end up with that issue being the issue? Because it sounds like everywhere else is good. It's just the O line not
Line
being
is
able
holding
to
back.
have a run game. The team is being held back. So where you think they end up at the end of the season? Are we ranked at least top
If
25 still?
I see them winning 8 games, man. And I think if Ed mess around and go 7-5, I think that seat just could become hot, man. He's like his ass gonna be like a black pot on a summer day. It's gonna be
Well, it's
scalding
it's
hot.
it's already people saying that it's time to
Yeah,
move
I
on
think
from
it's a little
Ed.
premature. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he does have a lot of moving parts right now with the new coordinators and all that. So it could possibly get better. But man, when you coming from when you're a D lineman, like I mean, you went to school to be a D lineman. Like Ed is a D line coach. Like we should be seeing more fire from the O line, man. You were in the trenches. You know what it takes to get blocked and to be blocked. Like it should be light years better than this. There's no way we should be doing this. So this is my hot take. If Ed mess around and lose 7 games, Billy Napier will be the LSU head coach next year.
Nah.
There's
I hope
no
not.
way. There's no way he gets all Louisiana, bro. If he either staying at UL or he's gonna be at Louisiana State University. I don't see him leaving.
I
I
I
I think
think
I think Alabama, be him coming from a Nick Saban coaching tree. I don't think he get out of Louisiana. I think
let
he will
me
be
let
at
me let
LSU
me
next year
let
if he
me
loses
let me
seven
give you
games.
some pushback on that because I do think I look at and I'm saying I need you to think outside of the eyes of a LSU fan, right? Just look at historically what LSU has been. Like I'm talking about like Nick Saban era, even after Nick Saban, they still had continued success, right?
Mm-hmm.
We looked at LSU no matter what the year was. Like it was a rarity where you didn't feel like
They
LSU
had a
had a
shot.
legit shot at the national championship. I can't say that about the past few years at LSU. Like I feel like they got super lucky with Joe Burrow being as great as he was. But outside of that, when has the team been like so dominant to where we know like, all right, there's no question, no doubting it. This a top three team, if not the national champion. Because there was a lot of that over the course of, just historically at LSU. And then I look at a place like UL, it's a school without the negative reputation that LSU is beginning to build just over the course of the past few years, where if I'm a coach, I'm kind of nervous to walk into a job where before I even step foot on a campus, there's fires that need to be put out. You know what I mean? Like, and I know for like a LSU fan, and you just thinking about the football and the talent and everything else, like LSU still your squad. But I think for people looking at job vacancies, I think it would be interesting if Napier, let's say UL moves to another conference, because there's been a lot of that going on. They've been ranked in the top 25. They've won hella bowl games. They've like shown the NCAA we got a nice program going here. You know what I mean? They get the opportunity to jump to a different conference. It might take a few years, might take 2, 3 seasons, but I think they could put together something that's like we competing, at least college playoff level.
This
I
is
think
my
that's
thing with
possible.
that team, Ryan. This is my thing with that team. I love UL. My own problem with UL fans. It all comes down to the budget and the facility. You get what you pay for. And when
Damn,
you
but
take an
but
LSU job, you getting well compensated to put up with any and all that shit.
right.
So, with that being said, though, I really feel like UL being the little brother of LSU, which they're probably always going to be. I do see maybe her getting um them getting into maybe like a Big 12. If the Big 12 stays, I do see them maybe getting into a Big 12. I could see that.
But I,
Now, are they
let
going
me
to
let
be
me
able to
just
compete
let me
with
just add
that?
this because
I'm
I,
not
I do
sure.
wanna let you finish what you're saying, but let me just add to it so while you answer, you could keep it in mind. That issue of budget and everything else comes with being a part of the conference. You know what I mean? It's like LSU get that because they're a part of the SEC. Now, UL has always been a top school in the country academically. So they get they funding through all that crap too. And obviously the athletic department gets a certain allotment. But then if you join the Big 12, let's say, you now have the same funding that's allotted to the other schools in the Big 12. So then you can start paying these people to do a little more and deal with a little more, and then you get better recruits, and then you looking at a whole. I think even as soon as 3 to 5 years, we could be looking at a complete different program as far as what's going on at UL. Like I really do feel like it's close. They've been getting a hella national televised games. They've been ranked in the top 25 multiple times in the past couple seasons. Like that job looks enticing. If you turn that program into something crazy, people look at you as like a Nick Saban. You start getting put in a different bracket because like we know Coach O is a good coach, but nobody talking about him as like the greatest coach to ever. You know what I mean? You just know it's because you part of the machine, which is LSU. But if you do it at UL, you something special. You know what I mean? And I feel like even though it's not super likely, it's possible.
And
I
that's my
think
thing, Ron. You live in a dream world. Excuse me. There is 4 programs. If you look at it, that have won championships in the past 15 years. Now, until they change these college football things, until there's a legit shot for them to actually get a, um, you know, um, group of 5 conference in. Until there's a legit chance, you won't have any chance to get there because they don't have what they need to get there. Like I said, just hear me out. Alabama, Clemson, Florida State, and LSU. Ohio State as well. I'm saying so 5 teams in the past 15 years that won a championship. Now, all those programs
You forgetting a couple, John.
have, huh?
You forgetting a couple.
Who?
Florida won Tim Tebow. Auburn won with Cam Newton. And
It
that's
was
it.
15 years ago. Well, Tennessee might have been a little bit before that. Cam Newton probably was in that 12, 13 range.
Yes.
So yeah, bro. So Cam Newton was within 2010. Yeah, Cam Newton was 10. So well, we're looking at about 11 years. So he's gonna fall off. Yeah. So yeah, Florida too. But all those programs got one thing in common. They got an unlimited budget. They have unlimited recruiting. They had superstar coaches. Bailey is a superstar. Don't get me wrong. But I don't even think LSU has a legit shot every until they get a man. I mean, I like Ed. Ed is a good guy. I did think he caught like in the bottle with Joe Burrow and all that. And Joe Burrow was the icing on top. I still think they would have been good without Joe that year. I want to be real because they had receivers out. I don't know who to play quarterback, but I still think they'd have won 10 games, even with a whoever. They could have had Jordan Dennison back there. They'd have won 10, 11 games. And that's been the problem with LSU. Honestly, before that, we always had problems with QB. But if we would have had a capable quarterback behind center when Leonard Fournette was there, it would have been real. Like, we would probably won the championship. We had nobody to the pressure of Leonard Fournette, like that. But like I said, all those programs that did win those, they have an unlimited budget to spend wherever they want. UL can't recruit those players yet. They're getting there. They're getting better players, but UL hangs their hat on player development. And that's really a good thing to do to have because you don't have to spend all that money in flying recruits out, flying their family out, doing this, fine dining them and all that. Let's be real. Alabama can fly anybody out at any time and put them in a 5-star hotel, and it'd be just these kids from the hood. They ain't experienced nothing, and they flash them out, and next thing you know, they're committing because they never had anything before. I feel like
yeah.
UL can't do that
But
like
I
they can. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think that comes with changing conferences if they're able to pull that off. And what I'm saying about
Yeah,
what the
I think
program
if
is
they
doing
do it to
now,
the Big 12, I think if they do, it'll give them a lot more light. They'll be in the limelight a little more. Have more national televised games. Cause I ain't gonna lie, it's really hard to catch a UL game if they're not playing on Tuesday or Thursday. Like
Yeah.
it's hard as hell to catch it. Like I live in Lafayette and I can barely watch the stuff. You got to watch on ESPN3. Like it don't play on TV. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like and I'm not even gonna say that because like these days you can watch a game anywhere. If you got ESPN3, everybody's on there. But that national TV, man, like that NBC and Fox and CBS, you get them
Yeah.
other.
But
That is
but
contracts that you get.
all of what you're saying, and then we can wrap it up and move to the next thing. But all of what you're saying, I think, comes with being in a bigger conference. Is because nobody respects a Sun Belt team. Like if you go undefeated, they'll still look at your record and be like, "Yo, but you played North Texas, you played UL Monroe, like you played teams that we don't think are on the same level as these SEC teams or these ACC teams. You know what I mean? Like they give those conferences more respect. And while the Big 12 might not be on that top tier level either, but it's a whole lot better than the Sun Belt. You know what I mean?
I
Like you
do think the
play
Sun Belt
competition.
got better football than it did 5, 10 years ago. I think that
Oh, for sure.
Sun Belt
For sure.
football has come a long way. And shit, I think if they don't end up moving, like you don't end up moving out of conference, and Texas and Oklahoma's coming to the ACC, I think the Sun Belt could be the next conference that could be in the Group 5 because they have legit football. Like it ain't no trash football. UL, Appalachian State, Coastal Carolina, Arkansas State, like they got some programs that Troy, they beat LSU. Like they got some programs that play
Yeah.
some good football, man. This ain't no just no Midwest conference or no goddamn just stuff like that. It ain't none of that. It ain't no American conference,
Right.
AAC. It ain't none of
I,
that.
I, I still do think it hold a whole lot more weight if you have a win against North Texas or Troy or whatever team, Coastal Carolina, even though they've been in the top rankings recently too. Um, I think when you say I beat Ohio State, that hold a whole lot more weight than saying I beat Troy. You know what I mean? And everybody know that. So if you're playing in a conference where your entire schedule is teams, you know what I mean, like respectable teams, that open a lot. Not to mention just the fact of the funding and everything else that you receive from being in that conference.
And not only that, I want to see them go wrap that up. I really think it's a travesty that UL is not getting that stadium full. It's really sad. Um, I wish I could catch a few games. I do work on Saturday, but that's what's holding you all back.
Yeah.
There isn't enough support going there, and I know everybody go to LSU and watch the game, but only 100,000 can fit in there. I mean, there's no way we can't fill up 50,000 in Caden Field. I mean, that's a nice stadium. They rebranded, they remodeled, they added more seats. I really think it's sad that we can't fill that up, man. I mean,
I
you
think
got
it'll
a
happen though.
Division 1 program and you can't fill up, 49,000 people in the Kitten Dome, bro. I mean, the Kitten Field. It's really sad that they're not getting the support that they need because I think that would put them where they need to be. If they could constantly, that's what's on them, they could constantly get that revenue and fill up the stadium. Like, it don't matter if LSU 5-6 or fucking 2-7. That goddamn LSU stadium, or they playing against fucking um, Central Michigan or McNeese State, that stadium is going to be 100,000 at kickoff, no matter
Yeah.
what.
But that's what happens when you have the history that
The
LSU
brand,
has, which is what I
exactly.
was
Yeah.
talking about earlier. And I think that that type of thing can happen for a UL, but it take time. So to go on the original point, we'll see what Billy Napier decides to do. But I wouldn't be surprised if he decided to stay. But I'm gonna switch gears just real quick over to the Pelicans. Obviously, everybody on Twitter been seeing everything that's going on. All I want to like, I need y'all to help me figure out is there really a fire going on within the organization, or is everybody overreacting? I'm gonna start with Jared. Like, what's your opinion? Just looking at what's going on, the way Zion has been handling his time in New Orleans, and who's really to blame?
Well, Brian, I know a lot of people not gonna want to hear this, but I think Z might be on his way out, bro. If all this shit is true, if David Griffin is really doing the shit he's doing that they said he did in that article, he is just making it easier for Z to be like, you know what? I'm out. I can't do this. You know what I'm saying? Especially, I mean, the money ain't a problem for him. He signed what $100 million for Jordan deal. He with Gatorade endorsements. He with 2K. You know, I don't think money is a problem for the young man. I think he just want to win. You know, and I think he going if it keeps up the way it's going, he probably gonna be out, bro. I hate to say it. I mean, I really hope they can salvage the relationship. You know, salvage the relationship. But I don't know, man. It's not looking good. I'll tell you that much. It's not looking good at
Yeah.
all.
Well, this is my take, and this is what I'm gonna ask Dan to see how he feel. But what I've been looking at is I think a lot of the blame should go on Zion, and I don't see too many people talking about the way things have kind of played out. Like I understand that you come from college, you were a superstar there. You know what I mean? Like you were Zion before you ever knew you were drafted by the Pels. So kudos to you in building that. But you came here, you really gave no real timeline for things to develop. Like I kind of look at his rookie year as a wash. So you had one somewhat like the disappointing season. I'll say that. Like I don't look at it as a complete failure because I don't think anybody ever thought they had a serious chance to make a run or nothing. But
True that.
it didn't live up to what it could have been. Like I at least wanted to see what they look like in the first round. Like at least give me that. So I cut him bail there. But what I
And
think,
and you can
no,
put
go
an
ahead.
asterisk. And you can put an asterisk by that season because that was COVID season.
Yeah,
And he showed up to the fucking bubble out of fucking shape.
yeah.
But you
Well,
can go ahead.
that's where I was about to go. So I put the blame on him for that because you wouldn't have been on a minutes restriction had you been in a shape where people felt comfortable with you playing a high amount of minutes every night without injuring something.
True that.
Cause like think about it, bro. If you fat and your cardio is not there for you to be able to play at 100% for that amount of minutes, as the coach, as the GM, as the front office, I'm looking like, yo, I need to protect my investment. He's gonna hurt himself if he just come from off the couch eating pizza trying to play in the NBA. Like it don't work like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, how much can you fault David Griffin for that? Now, and I don't think I'm taking any blame away from him because I think he is blowing it. Like he
Sure
is
is.
absolutely blowing it. But I do think a lot of it is he's having a difficult time dealing with somebody like Zion. Like you haven't done anything in the NBA for people to roll the red carpet out.
Yeah.
Like why wouldn't you show up to Brandon Ingram workout? Like that's what came out today. Like Bi invited him to his house for a workout, and Zion was just like, "Ah, fuck that." Like, how can you do that? I don't care that you're Zion. Like part of your job is doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what every other NBA player is doing. Like if you go when the offseason started and you go on to social media and you see our Twitter and you see these NBA players, they posting themselves at workouts. So this is why I asked Dan, do you think I'm accurate in that? Am I off in saying I think Zion is a lot of the blame? Like I'd say even 50% of the blame, like half of it I put on him
I
even
didn't
though he
know.
playing
I
amazing.
didn't know. I didn't know any of that. I actually didn't read the whole article, and now I wasn't reading that. But I appreciate the insight. But David Griffin needs to stay his bald head ass in the office and do president of operation things. He needs to let Trajan Langdon run the fucking team and let Willie Green coach.
He's not gonna do that.
And he needs to stay out of. He needs to stay out of it. You are a president of operations, bro. Like you just oversee everything. Like you're not with them every day. You're not out there sweating. You ain't there doing the drills. I'm gonna get off David Griffin for a while because we know what the fuck he is. Zion. I'm gonna tell you something, buddy. You have proved nothing in the NBA yet. You haven't proved you can lead. You haven't proved you can stay healthy. You've been hurt every year. You miss games every year. I like you. You're a superstar, generational talent. You're all that. But let's be real. They've had generational talents in the NBA before. They've had superstars before. And guess what? They had some that lasted only 3-4 years. You're not taking care of your body, number one. We know that. Maybe you start taking care of a little bit of last year. We saw a little bit of improvement. We did. Still not where you need to be yet. You need to get down to about 250 pounds. That's where you need to be. And even at that weight, you outweigh almost everybody in the NBA except centers. And you're not a center. You're a tweener, small forward, power forward. But if you had the extra weight off of you, you blowing past people already. Imagine what you could do at 250. The swiftness. LeBron's at 250, and he's just bullying over people. Anybody and everybody.
Yeah.
So, but let's be real here. The Pels owe you nothing. You, in this day and age, if you can't go out, I haven't seen him in New Orleans yet. He's been in LA the whole offseason. What the fuck are you doing in LA, bro?
Not his job. I'll tell you
Let's
that.
be real. What the fuck are you doing hanging around with Zach LaVine? It's cool to network and do all that. That's cool. But you talking about you want to win. A person that want to win ain't just going to be just fucking off the whole offseason. Because it
Well,
don't look like you've been working out.
this my thing, Dan.
I ain't seen one video yet.
That's what I'm getting at. So I think I look at him being in Zach Levine with Zach Levine in LA. I don't see that as a problem. It's only a problem because when your own teammate, who is also a all-star, hit you up to go to that workout,
Unacceptable.
you have to go. Like that's
Unacceptable.
literally like I don't care if you didn't feel like it, if you didn't want to, like if you want to do what you have to do your part in the team winning, that's something that has to be done.
But this is
Like
your
if
profession.
I'm BI and you don't hit me back, you don't show up to the workout, I'm looking like, yo, I don't care how good he is. I don't care if he averaged 50 a game. I can't win with this nigga. Like he just not willing to do what it takes to get on the level that you look at other duos around the league have. You think KD and Kyrie just walked on the court together for the first time on game one of the season? Like, nah, they was putting in work. You know what I'm saying? Like they did what they had to do to play at the level they play at.
And that it all goes back again to he's 21 years old, man.
Yeah, which
He ain't
is
had life yet. Hit
right.
him. He ain't hit rock bottom yet. And that's the thing. He's probably going to have to hit rock bottom to realize what's going on. And all athletes do, man. All athletes do. Kobe hit it. LeBron hit rock bottom. They all hit it. The thing is, he's just been having such little success in the NBA. He thinks his little success is a little 26 points a game and a little 6 rebounds and 5 assists and success. But it ain't translating to wins, buddy. You're not
Right.
getting no wins. Like you talking about you want to win, but you ain't. I seen Jackson Hayes training videos. Shit, I seen Steven Adams working on his game before he
Facts.
got traded. I
Facts.
ain't see a Zion sweating his ass off training session yet.
Not
So,
doing
like,
that.
what is going on? You got an entourage following your ass. Oh, they gonna tweet, oh, he unhappy in your arms. They're gonna do that quick. Where they at when they recording you while you're working out? Where they at? Because they following you around. Like, I just don't understand what is the issue, bro. Like, y'all ain't gonna magically win. It ain't just gonna fall in your lap. Oh, NBA. I said, oh, we love Zion. Let's go ahead and give him 50 wins this year. Like, that's not gonna happen. Just because you a
Yeah.
superstar, bro, you gotta go out there and earn it. This is your profession. If you want to get better at something, if you want to become a winner, where you at? You talking about, oh, you prefer Kobe. You sure ain't showing no Mamba mentality.
Hey,
Yeah.
damn. He's too busy making videos with Taylor Rooks and 2K videos, bro. That's what
No,
he's too busy doing.
he worried about
Yeah.
them white women curving fucking Snapchat. That's what he worried about.
See, now this is my next question, and then we can go ahead and start wrapping up. This is my question for Jared. I look at the situation. I'm just taking mental notes from everything that I'm seeing. You see Zion doing what he doing. You see David Griffin trying what he trying to correct the situation, and none of it's working. I think, and maybe this is not such a hot take no more, but I think like this season right here is the final chance to show us just some type of promise, or I think we headed to like Houston Rockets rebuild, Oklahoma City rebuild. Like I think we're is either playoffs or that. That's the only two options after this. We really at that point.
I think it has a very good chance of being that way. But I mean, honestly, if this season they don't make it, trade Zion, bro. You gotta trade him because I mean, Bi looks like he actually is trying to give a damn. Like first off, you need to get better on defense, bro. Like this guy on defensive end was atrocious. Bi too. Don't get me wrong, but at least Bi was, you can see he was kind of trying a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He had his moments when he didn't give a damn, but I mean, it's Bi. You know what I'm saying? You give or take. We all know he's not that good on defense. We all been knowing that. But Zion, he's too young, he's too athletic to not be good on defense. Like, wasn't he good on defense in Duke? I'm not understanding it. You
Yeah.
saw him chase down blocks. You saw him, play defense, get steals on a fast break, running out. You know what I'm saying? Like, where is this? Oh, yeah, because he came out of shape. That's why he got too
That
fat. You know what I'm saying? But I say back to the point though. I'll say you don't make the playoffs this year, and it doesn't look like he wants to give a damn on the defensive end. You got to try to get something before he leaves for nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
yeah,
going
which
to add
is
something with that, Jared. One thing, I don't think they trade him. I think it'll just be another 4 years of this because they have bird rights. They don't have to trade him. They don't have to. He's tied to the team.
I mean, no,
If he
but
don't sign the contract, he just got to retire.
man, but I think if he
you
becomes
ruined
so
her.
much of a
Yeah,
distraction
you
that
Yeah,
ruined
if
the
he
it
culture,
just
does,
bro.
yeah,
can't
yeah,
work.
yeah. If he does do that, which I don't see him as that personality, honestly. I just think he's talking all that bullshit and doing all that shit behind the scenes. Like
No,
he the type of motherfucker that ain't gonna be public with it. He gonna talk in these little avenues, like through his little entourage and through his agent and his family. That's what he do. But he ain't
well,
gonna come out
I
and
I
like the kind of person to do
I
that.
think that public stuff is like he obviously not gonna say that at a media press conference. Like I don't think as many players in the league that would. Like even when we look at what James Harden did with Houston, like throughout that whole process in his interviews, he still talked as if he was with the team, even though we all knew what was happening. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I think what's going on behind the scenes is why David Griffin just if you look at the past couple seasons, anytime he's talked to the press, he's given like he's known for bullshitting people. Like they call him a bad car salesman. Like he's known for talking shit. Like he get on TV and he talk about all this we're building the right pieces for sustained success and longevity and all this other bullshit. And it's like, all right, nigga, you've been saying this for 3 seasons and we don't have not zero improvement, my nigga.
No success.
Like
We're in the same
No
if
spot.
it if
success,
it
bro.
if any of the shit you was saying was true, we would be winning some damn games. Like it's just as simple as that. And I think at some point you can't just hope that whatever bullshit he feeding us is gonna be right. Especially if I'm like the owner of the organization. I need somebody
If
to take
Willie
the
can't get
fucking
him
top.
right, then nobody will.
Yeah, he gotta be able to let Willie take the reins and do what needs to be done without
Yeah,
trying to say.
Zion gotta be coachable, bro. You gotta be coachable. That superstar shit,
But
man.
I think Willie Green is the type of dude that can work with Zion. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like I really think like once they in the swing of the season and they back in the passion, if Willie can do enough to motivate them to just give half a fuck. Because I think half of what it was with Stan, it's like, all right, we in the huddle, you trying to give us your spiel to get us to do what we need to do, but I can't even respect what you saying because I just don't fuck with you. You know what I
true that,
mean?
true that.
Like I think Willie solved that problem just by being somebody that the players can fuck with. Because talent wise, they got what they need, bro. Like I remember going in the last season, everybody thought we was gonna be like a real scary team. Like they was like, bro, people gotta watch the Pelicans. Like, look at that roster. But the issue was they just didn't respect the coach. And then now we finding out they definitely don't respect the uh, director of operations, whatever the shit his name is, whatever his title is. They don't
VP
respect him.
operations.
Like,
You know what the
come
hell that
on, man.
means, bro. What are
Like,
you talking?
it just means somebody that can control every fucking thing because that's what he want to be. Like, I'm nervous because he hired Willie Green specifically under the pretense that he would let him have input with what's going on the floor. Like I think, bro, you built the roster. You found a coach that fit the style of what your players are good at, and then you let the coach, bro. Like just let him do what he do.
He not a fucking coach. He ain't never played basketball.
Yeah, but that's what he
You're
think
an
he is,
executive. Like,
which
get
is
your
what's
fucking
holding
ass
him
in the
back.
front office and go punch some goddamn numbers. That's what you
Exactly.
need to be doing.
I'm trying to think. Like I've never seen any of the teams director, operations, vice president. Like I've never.
The only
Who are
person I
those
can
things?
think of is Jerry Jones. That's the only one that come to mind.
Yeah, and what's dude from the Mavs?
Oh,
Mark
Mark
Everybody.
Cuban.
Cuban. Well,
Yeah,
Mark
Mark.
Cuban, he let the people coach though. But he
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
really be all that. But
that's what I'm saying. He
uh huh.
understands his role.
Hmm.
Griff need to understand his, especially because I feel like everybody rock with Mark Cuban.
He want to be
Like
in the
I,
limelight too much, bro. Like, you ain't Mark Cuban. Like, you ain't shit. You don't own the team. You're a goddamn employee.
you know what it is. I think he just people like his peer group, right? Like the people that do what he do, they don't respect his championships because he had LeBron. And I think
Hmm.
what he trying to do is like, I'm gonna prove to you I can do it without LeBron. And he trying to take too much control. But I think that's a good spot to wrap it up for this week. We definitely gonna be
Oh
back
yeah,
next week to talk about what we see in week 3. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what the Saints can do now that I saw the injury list today look kind of clear. So we
finally,
looking
bro.
up there, and then
Getting better.
we'll keep our eyes on LSU and the Zion situation. So y'all tell the people where they can find y'all at on social media.
Look at DJ Go, Instagram and Twitter. Look at underscore DJ Go, Facebook Daniel Papio, and Behind the Boot Facebook page also as well.
Yes, sir. Y'all please go follow Behind the Boot on socials. That way we can let y'all know when new episodes drop, what we talking about, and y'all can rock with us that way. Jared, tell the people where they can find you on social media.
Social media Twitter handle is go with underscore the flow. I'm better on there anyways, but if you're really trying to get in contact with your boy, I'm on Facebook quite often. Jerrette Popillion. Only one Jared in the world, Jerrette Popillion. So you should be able to follow me, cat.
Yes, sir. Y'all go follow Jared. I'll put everything in the notes, in the description. So y'all please go follow, and we'll see y'all next week.